So one key question that is important to every investor is the question of growth. And I've learned over this past year that this can actually be a very emotional question for a lot of us. Baked into much of our cultural thinking and definitely into our investment thinking is the idea that growth is not only good, but it's necessary, that if you're not growing, it's somehow a really terrible thing. What biomimicry shows us is that it's not a question of if you grow, it's a question of how you grow. And I think this is something that all investors would do well to keep in mind. So if you're an investor and you're thinking about the question of growth, one set of questions that's really important is how. And it's tempting as an investor when you're growing to just add more and more components to what you're doing. If you're buying individual stocks, surely investing in 100 stocks is better than investing in 10. If you're conducting asset allocation, surely it's better to have more slices in that pie chart than fewer slices. And there's some benefit to diversification, to be sure, but pretty often we're adding components without adding a lot of function. So one lesson for the natural world is to think about modular growth. The example I love here is the example of an octopus. Now think about an octopus. It doesn't have 8 totally different arms doing totally different things. And even within one arm, each one of those little suckers has the exact same design. But it's an incredibly elegant design and it's really multifunctional. So there are 3 sets of muscles within each of those suckers that enable this huge range of motion and this huge range of function, even though the component itself is pretty simple and it's repeated over and over again. When I'm looking at my portfolio now, instead of looking to just add to the number of components that I have, I look to really add different function when it's needed. And when it's not needed, I try to take this modular approach. So I'm adding to the elegance of the design instead of just adding needless complication.